as investigators try to piece together why California gunman Ian Long launched his horrific shooting spree. Former high school coaches and neighbors say the warning signs were always there. Ian David Long, 28, unleashed a merciless hail of bullets at Borderline Bar and Grill in Thousand Oaks, California, on the evening of November 7, killing 12 people, before turning the gun on himself. According to people from his past, Long had angry outbursts, made neighbors uncomfortable, destroyed his property, and terrified his own mother over the years. Former friends and classmates said he was bullied at Newbury Park High School for his lazy eye and did not take jokes well. His former track coach Evie Kluk says the warning signs were always there. She called him a ticking time bomb for his profanity-laced tirades that forced people to back away. On one occasion she asked Long, who had a lifelong dream of becoming a Marine, why he wanted to enlist. "When you hear somebody say they want to be in the military because they want to kill people in the name of our country, that's chilling," Kluk said. On one occasion he grabbed another track coach Dominique Colel's backside and midsection as he tried to a phone in her hand he claimed was his. Another time, Long mimicked shooting her in the head. "I literally feared for myself around him," said Colel, who no longer coaches at the school. She wanted to kick Long off the team. Another coach argued the black mark could jeopardize his goal of joining the military. Long, a sprinter, was allowed to stay. Long came from a military pedigree as his grandfather was a Naval Academy graduate who served 30 years and retired with the rank of commander. Long enlisted in the Marines out of high school in 2008 and married at the age of 19. In his enlistment he was stationed in Hawaii and became a machine gunner. He was deployed to Afghanistan from 2010 to 2011. 2 weeks before he returned from his 7-month deployment, he legally separated from his wife after 2 years of marriage. Authorities with the Ventura County Sheriff's Department have publicly speculated that, like many veterans, Long suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder. But no such diagnosis has been confirmed. A spokeswoman for the Department of Veterans Affairs told Daily Mail. Long wasn't enrolled in healthcare there. Within 5 years after he enlisted we was honorably discharged, divorced and enrolled at California State University in Northridge in 2013. But his outbursts and angry arguments in his backyard escalated after he returned. He was a lot worse when he came back from the military, another neighbor Donald McLeod said to CBS. "I suspected he had a gun there because I heard a gunshot one night, over a year ago," he added. Share this article. Share in all chapters of his life. His high school classmates, Marines in his regiment, and professors struggle to remember much about him. Meanwhile, family who did know him and investigators who are learning his story aren't talking publicly. In college he took classes to be a physical trainer and a rehab specialist, but dropped out after 3 years, seemingly without reason. Students in the school's physical therapy club did not recall Long. Campus police have no record of him. Professors said they have no helpful insights. An unremarkable student in good standing, Konstantinos Brongistinos, a professor in the Department of Kinesiology, wrote an email. Thomas Burke, who served with Long in his regiment and is now a pastor, doesn't believe something triggered him to kill. He believes it was his lifelong isolation that drove him to do it. Really what this was more about was his own loneliness and isolation, Burke said. Long's life over the past 2 years is a public mystery. In April there was an alarming uproar at the property he shares with his mother, which prompted an intervention. "It sounded to me like the man was out of his head," Long's next-door neighbor Tom Hansen said. Deputies summoned a mental health specialist to the scene, but he wasn't checked out as a 72-hour involuntary psychiatric commitment requires an imminent threat of harm. The specialist didn't believe his behavior was extreme enough for that. Hansen, the neighbor on a quiet block in a city often ranked as one of California's safest, said he sympathized with Long's mother. "I think she was all the time overwhelmed by this guy. You never knew when he was going to go off," he said. Neighbors told DailyMail.com earlier this month that his mother Colleen was terrified he was going to harm himself or others. "We may never know what was in his head," said Tricia Benson, who grew up and still lives in the Los Angeles suburb of Thousand Oaks. "We may never know what the darkness was.